Ladies and gentlemen, please do consider getting the latest in your own personal self-surveillance electronics tagging system, which Apple are delighted to sell to you at your own expense to make sure that you are tagged to the nearest, millimetre, so the government and Google know exactly what we're doing at all times. Just to let you know that Apple are basically Nazi needles, aren't they? Needle Nazis, sorry, got the wrong way. Needle Nazis, because the Apple Corporation is happy to supply the software to have vaccine passports, which are basically a trick to try and force people to vaccinate themselves, and will be used as a social credit system. And Apple, the corporation, are quite happy to make you pay £1,500 for your latest self-tagging device, which is basically going to turn your home into a prison, and your Apple iPhone is going to be your personal policeman. That's right, to make sure you do exactly as you're told. But these guys are all wearing really lovely, cool red t-shirts, so they couldn't possibly be part of a really dark, nasty, authoritarian organisation that's in cahoots with the government and going to basically turn all of us into complete and utter slaves, both physically and mentally. They couldn't be possibly in a shop that's so beautiful with trees. They couldn't possibly be involved in a scam and a racket, and it couldn't possibly be doing anything untoward, because it all looks so nice, doesn't it? And on the screen there they've got a lovely picture of the smooth edges of the latest iPhone, which was produced in China by people in horrible situations, in really boring jobs, just to make sure that you upgrade your latest digital leg irons. So please, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure your digital leg irons are up to date, so that the government and the corporations can keep utter control over you, know exactly where you've been, what you've done, and the latest iPhone 13 can now actually read your facial expressions, and if you're showing some signs of maybe being a little bit mentally ill, they can immediately feed that back to the authorities, and they can come and take you away, which is great, isn't it? Because you want to be safe, don't you? If anything goes wrong and you do get distressed, it's great to know that the government and the police can be immediately contacted through the wonderful Apple devices, which is, of course, you've got to give it to them. You've got to give it to them. They have managed to get people to pay in excess of £1,000 for an electronic tagging system that the government used to have to pay for. Even today, ladies and gentlemen, the government pays Serco, or whatever the other companies are, they pay Serco, they pay them thousands of pounds to fit these little things around convicts' legs to make sure that they know exactly where they are at all times. Well, now the Apple Store are selling your own personal surveillance device that will, keep you under control. They're more than happy, by the way, to supply hardware and software to the government so that they can keep, of China, for example, they're happy. They provide software and hardware to the government of China, who keep control with their social credit system over the people, and they're more than happy to provide your digital slave passport, obedient passports. That's right, they're more than happy to provide the software and the hardware. They don't tell you that in there when you go in there. The people with the lovely red thing, would you like this one? Would you like the iPhone? Because it's got 4 cameras on. It's got 4 cameras. So when you think about the number of cameras, you don't think about, hold on a second, is this going to turn into some kind of nasty authoritarian policeman? Do you know what I mean? And what's going on? No, it's got lovely 4 cameras, and it's a lovely shiny field, and it's 256 gigabytes of information on there, including everything you do, every breath you take, every heartbeat that you have, and all of that's going to be fed back to the highest bidder. That's right, because that's what the government do, isn't it, with the corporations? And they're quite happy to be in bed with the government of the world, including the British government, who, by the way, sold all your medical records to the highest bidder this year. And it's all going to be stored on your Apple phone for every Tom, Dick and Harry to see. That's right, but don't worry about it, because it's all in the name of your safety. Of course, always was, wasn't it, when tyrants took over? They always did it in the name of your safety, of course, because that's what they're concerned about here at the Apple Store. So I must congratulate you for this amazing scam, really, which is what it is, you know. Please make sure that your latest self-tagging system, have you updated your self-tagging system, madam? What have you got? You can get the iPhone 13, it's brilliant. It keep tabs on you to the nearest millimeter. Any questions?